Okay, here we are. Today we're going to talk about coaches' mental health or mental health for coaches, and we're going to talk. I'm just going to try to open up some conversation and dialogue with people. Today is Thursday, October 8th, and on Sunday, October 9th, 11th, 9th, 10th, 11th, yeah, 9th, 10th, 11th, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to have a live talk with anywhere between another coach or nine more coaches that are willing to just come up and talk about coaches' mental health. You know, it's a big subject. It's not. I think we address student athletes or athletes' mental health, and I think it's so important. So I'm not taking importance away from the athletes or student athletes and put it that the coaches need it most. No, no, no. As a ex world class athlete, and I had many mental health issues. You know, that at that point when I was an athlete, they were not recognized as issues or as moments that they could really change your the way you act, the way you think. And I'm so happy that we have so many resources to help our student athletes. I'm a swim coach now in college, so student athletes or even club swimmers or swimmers in different federations or in different places. So very important, and we need to keep talking. But the question for me now as a coach is not as a professional, and more nowadays with the climate that we live in our world with so much uncertainty. Uncertainty because of the COVID-19 and because of our jobs, our health. Well, I should say first our health, our jobs, our families, our colleagues, our student athletes, and how somebody like in a position like me of leadership, when you have 5, 6 coaches working with you, you have around almost 80 athletes between swimmers and divers that you have to show leadership, and we can cope with everything that the COVID situation or crisis has brought us, plus everything that was before that, that there are a lot of things. So I just want to see if there's going to be any conversation, if anybody would be interested. And I'm just, before that, I know we can talk a little bit about what mental health is and mental illness, and I'm going to give you some points so people can think about it, and then we can talk. This is not an argument. It's just stimulating our brains to see if we can help one another. But I know I put, if you look at the thumbnail or whatever the picture, it looks like I'm crazy, but I'm not. I'm going to show you. Let me see if I find them. The picture that I look like that I'm having a breakdown is from 4 or 5 years ago. I think no, 5 years ago when I was the national head coach in Singapore, and I was like, let me see. Yeah, now you can see it. This is how I look before the meet, and I look pretty healthy and happy. I'm not saying that I didn't have many issues that I had to deal with, but I had to be calm, portray myself well, make sure, because we had the SEA Games, that was the biggest sporting event in Singapore, because it was during the 50th anniversary of the birth of the country. So they had such a big, I call like a big stress, and they wanted to show the world and Southeast Asia how wonderful the country is. And I had to make help one of the sports to be very successful. So internally, you cannot imagine how much pressure you have, how many things you have to deal with the government, with the federation, with the swimmers, with the parents, with your family. Because I moved my family from Florida in a very kind of like cocoon, like bubbly thing, where they live in La La Land, to Singapore. That was a total shock and change of thought process. But anyway, I don't want to keep my picture, I guess. But look, this is, normally it takes me 20 minutes, 25 minutes to, I grow my beard for a month and my hair, and then I shave it, and I do something funny for the team. But this is how I look. This is how I look. Look at this, Now that's the picture, or this one. I'm not stressed out, as you can see. 10 minutes before, I look pretty happy. I'm just trying to to be funny to myself because I didn't really show this picture for a while to anybody, but I thought I could use it to talk about mental health and kind of like when we have breakdowns, because we do have breakdowns. And look at me, I look pretty determined, you want to say, and relaxed and pretty clean. But anyway, let's go back and just talk about a little bit about the mental health. And I'm not going to make this very long. And then maybe this Sunday we can have a longer conversation about it. I did some search on the internet about mental health, and because I was curious, and when I put mental health for coaches or coaches mental health, almost nothing came out about helping coaches. But let me put my glasses because I'm getting old. But one of the things that came out, the only really institution that came out, they had something for coaches, was the National Federation of State High School Associations. I was in one of the committees for swimming and diving for the NFHS, and they're very thoughtful about their student athletes, their teachers, their coaches, because most of the coaches are teachers, and here they have some good information for coaches, that I think applies to the to helping their mental health be better. And after doing a search, like I said, the National Federation of a State High School Association, the NFHS, is the only one that really came out with something to talk about exercise, like mental health for the coaches. Because when you do a search of coaches' mental health, everything of mental health for coaches, everything is about getting a degree to be a mental health coach, or how the student athletes need to have that, or the athletes. There's no many specific cases and things about in the first searches, in the first pages of things like that. So, and I think that could be it's kind of a sign, and I think we need to address it a little bit, But the NFHS does a very good job, at least putting something. They put it, I think, in 2016, but they talk about keys for sleep, exercise, and mental health. And we're not going to go through all these, but it's very interesting. And then I did a search for, can poor mental health lead to mental illness? And look what it says. Mental health refers to our emotional and physiological psychological state, our social well-being, and how we feel about ourselves and interact with others. Now, mental health is not the same as mental illness, although poor mental health can lead to mental and physical illness. And that's what I'm trying to address with the conversation I want to create with coaches. Because our lifestyle, like swim coach, right now I get up early, very early in the morning, so I can do a little bit of exercise before I go to work. And I'm at the pool by 5:30, 5:20. So imagine how early I get up, Not that I do a lot, but because I've been, I'm not healthy, and I'm overweight because you have bad habits. I have to do something because I'm getting old, But our lives is just nonstop, and it's very hard because we create habits, and then we think that we don't have time to do things to take care of ourselves, and we're always trying to take care of everybody else. And trust me, I know there's good coaches, bad coaches, and not so good coaches. We're all dysfunctional to some degree, and I know that if I've coached 1,000 athletes in my life, maybe many of them are very upset with me. I don't know, or they didn't like the experience with me, but I can promise that I've never done anything maliciousness to anybody. Or you try to be an educator, even though you have to be careful how you phrase that, because we're coaching, and you don't want to step in the toes of the parents or the toes of the psychologist or a nutritionist or anybody. So it's a very thin line that we have to walk, So I think that's a very important thing that we could talk, Then I did a search at the NCAA website, and as you can see here, coaches' mental health. And, all these 7,670 results come out in 0.2 of a second. pim pam pum. Whoa! So you would think there's going to be some stuff that's going to talk about how to help coaches. And most of the stuff leads about, if you try to click of anything, you're going to see that talks about like how a coach can do, and the athletic departments can do things to help the mental health of the athletes. But if you look at this one, mental health educational resources, supporting student athletes' mental health best practices, mental health interdisciplinary team planner, all these, like as you can see here. Let's go into this one. Introduction. Let's have a little bit of the model for the
student athletes face all the opportunities and challenges of the typical college student while balancing the additional role of the college athlete. Good mental wellness is critical for student athletes to excel in their multiple roles by effectively coping with stress, working productively in the classroom and in their sport, and making positive contributions to the campus community. A student athlete's mental wellness fluctuates along a continuum, with resilience and thriving on one end of the spectrum and mental health disorders that may impair functioning and performance on the other. Student athletes move back and forth along this continuum as they react to the pressures of athletics, academics, and everyday life. However, some student athletes may slip into a more serious condition requiring professional care, if not supported or assisted when help is needed. Participation in sports can help student athletes.
All right. We can go, I can go back, for example, and say for coaches, let's talk about coaches here.
Welcome to your guide for supporting student athlete mental health. This lesson is for you, the coach. With your help, we can put an end to the stigma regarding mental health within our athletics programs while providing effective support and a positive environment to student athletes on your campus.
This is great. I love it. I think that's so important, and we all need to follow this. But honestly, why we don't have something like that for coaches? Because there's a lot of stress for coaches, and we don't talk about it. So I have a great boss here, Virginia Tech. From the first day, he asked me, "Hey, Sergio, how can I help you?" And I said, "Hey, I'm gonna need somebody that I can just talk, and he listens to me. Sometimes I told him, if I say something wrong, you just tell me, and I know I sometimes the way I think, but I need to sometimes let go, because for 30 years I have my wife at home, Sandy, that she's like my sounding board. I have an issue, I come home, blah, 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 blah. How many times we do that? And then she'll tell me a solution or give me an advice, and I'll be like, well, don't say that, and you don't know anything, and but then I'll think about it, and she's right. And so I've been very lucky with that, but still, it's very tough. So I cannot imagine people that don't have that support, and I think we should start a conversation about just to support one another, the same way that the student athletes have all these platforms, and they help one another, and so I think for us, I think we should really talk. And if anybody is interested, just send me a message. Here's my email, right? Here. I don't know. I'm gonna put it somewhere in this video, and just send me a message, and then let's talk on Sunday. We'll have hopefully some coaches, and if not, I'll be there. And if you wanna log in, it's gonna be in my YouTube channel. Not log in, just listen, and then you want to participate, just put something on the chat, and then we can talk. I'll share my thoughts and to the best of my ability, because we have always to be politically correct, and I don't want to say anything that can give a bad impression to people, because sometimes but yeah, let's see where this conversation takes us, and I hope swim coaches out there they're willing to engage into this. So thank you for watching the video, and for at least putting up with me for a few minutes, and hopefully this, if you don't join on Sunday, it's okay, But hopefully, if you have struggle with situations where you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, that you can find somebody that you can really connect and unload, and make sure that that person, without without really any criticism, supports you and allows you to be the best that you can be. We have an amazing job. I feel very lucky to be a swim coach. Swimming, I know in the scheme of the world, is very insignificant, but in my world is the most important thing in my life, and that's how I've learned to understand internal success and external too. But I think the most important is internal success. And since I was a kid, I always wanted to be a swim coach. And but as you start getting into the world of coaching and you start like climbing up to become a head coach, there's so many other things that you never thought that you will have to take care, that you're not really prepared to take care, that they can really derail you and put you in a situation that is not healthy, And how many of us have thought about quitting our jobs and getting a 9 to 4 job? You get paid, you clock in, you clock out, you don't have to worry about it. Sometimes you might have a boss that's not very nice, but you can put up with that because after 5 o'clock, when you get home, you don't have to worry about anything else. So I've considered myself very lucky, but I think nowadays let's have a chat. We have this opportunity. But thank you very much. And I'll let you with this thought. And if you're interested, just send me a message, and thanks, and take care.